German Chancellor Friedrich Merz has endorsed a sweeping European Union proposal to unlock nearly €140 billion in interest-free loans for Ukraine, financed through frozen Russian central bank assets. The unprecedented plan, revealed in Merz's own Financial Times op-ed, marks a historic shift for Berlin, which long resisted using Moscow's money for Kyiv over legal and financial fears.
We must systematically and massively raise the costs of Russia's aggression. The funding must secure Ukraine's military resilience for several years.
For months, German officials warned that seizing Russian reserves could undermine the euro's credibility and spark legal disputes. But Merz now insists Europe cannot be paralyzed by such risks. He argues the loans must stay interest-free, to be repaid only once Moscow compensates Ukraine for war damages, a repayment horizon many admit may never come.
This must not hold us back. We must consider how, by circumventing these problems, we can make these funds available for the defense of Ukraine.
The German pivot comes as the US retreats. President Donald Trump has declared Washington will no longer bankroll Kyiv, warning that Europe must shoulder the war raging in its own backyard. His blunt message, delivered in meetings with European leaders, has rattled capitals and piled pressure on Berlin.
Well, he's going to have to get going and make a deal. He's going to have to make a deal. Zelensky's going to have to make a deal. And Europe has to stop buying oil from Russia. Okay? You know, they talk, but they have to stop buying oil from Russia.
But European unity is splintering. In Budapest, Deputy Energy Minister Gabor Czepek lashed out at Washington and Brussels, calling their policies an imperial logic. He dismissed as fake news claims that Hungary could end the conflict by cutting Russian oil imports, stressing Budapest accounts for just 2.2% of Moscow's crude exports.
Hungary buys 2.2% of Russian oil exports, so 90.78% goes elsewhere. If Hungary were to suicidally renounce Russian oil, it would not end the war.
Czepek went further, revealing that Trump personally pressed Prime Minister Viktor Orban to halt Russian energy purchases. But Hungary has refused, accusing Washington of pushing American LNG not to reduce dependence, but to replace it. With the lowest regulated energy prices in the EU, Budapest insists its duty is to shield consumers, not bow to US demands.
Trump may be president, but he can still ask himself, what is good for Americans? It is good for Americans if we buy LNG from Europe instead of Russian gas, American LNG.
In Berlin, Merz delivered his fiercest attack on Vladimir Putin yet. Addressing the Bundestag, he accused the Russian leader of sabotaging, spying and murdering across Europe in an effort to destabilize democracies. He unveiled plans to expand Germany's armed forces from 182,000 to 260,000 troops, and even floated bringing back conscription, including for women.
Putin has long been testing the limits. He sabotages, he spies, he murders, he tries to unsettle. Russia wants to destabilize our societies. But, ladies and gentlemen, we will not allow this, not externally and not internally either.
But the fiery speech drew backlash. Opposition lawmakers branded him the war chancellor, accusing Merz of inflaming tensions abroad while neglecting crises at home.
Before the impending disaster and your plummeting trust ratings with the citizens, you retreat into the pose of a world politician and warlord, shifting phantom armies in the sandbox and giving away billions to countries he doesn't even have.
The Bundestag is split, Europe is divided, and Putin is watching. As Merz prepares to push his plan at an October summit in Copenhagen, the stakes for the continent could not be higher. Frozen Russian billions weaponized, armies rebuilt, and a fragile unity that could splinter at any moment.